So sorry about that. I think that part of the last video got cut off. But when conducting any type of research, especially research in software engineering, at the end of the day, you need to demonstrate your findings. Anybody else with reasonable research computing background should be able to understand the research that you did. They should be able to recreate your work, and so therefore you should be able to explain your entire research process, your findings, a process you went through to find your ultimate discoveries. And so you need to be able to demonstrate what you've done. So very frequently you'll end up doing an analysis, and you'll say, I've analyzed my results and I found XXX. I found that Android apps are more or less secure than iOS apps. And the process I used to do that was I collected Android apps, I analyzed them using vulnerability tools, and this is why I chose the apps that I chose, and here's what I found. But throughout your entire research process, you should be thinking about how you can make each one of those steps repeatable. So there are two terms you're going to hear throughout this semester, and they are types of analysis, and they are quantitative and qualitative analysis types. Now, quantitative analysis, those are numerical types of data. So for example, you could say 80% of the population feels this way, or 80% of apps are vulnerable to this type of security threat. So you can assign a definitive number to a quantitative analysis. Now, a qualitative analysis, that's something with non-numeric data. So that's like if I say, what's the temperature out today? And you say it's warm. Or does that taste good? And you say, yes, it tastes good. That's something that's usually more of an opinion or more of a feeling than anything you could assign a certain numerical value to. Now, research is usually good to combine both of these in any type of research study. So you can combine different quantitative and qualitative types of analysis during a research project. So it may make sense to combine these in different studies. So more examples of qualitative and quantitative data sets. Qualitative, that might deal with descriptions, colors, textures, smells, appearance, things like that. And again, quantitative might deal with numbers, so length, height, area, volume, cost, ages, etc. So a couple more examples of qualitative and quantitative studies. Qualitative examples could be done by in-depth interviews, unstructured responses, time, and it's much more subjective in the data you're going to collect. Quantitative is much less subjective, and it's always number-based. If you're doing a survey, it would have a fixed number of responses or fixed number of options. It wouldn't be a survey where you allowed the user to write in anything free-formed. It would be something that would be very prescribed. It would have measurable values that you could easily group together. And like I said, my experience has always been to use qualitative and quantitative result sets with one another.